In this video lesson, you'll discover how to paint in watercolor using the wash and outline technique.
Wash and Outline, Venice Cityscape, video lesson by Vladimir London. This is the artwork I will achieve by the end of this video lesson. The subject for this painting was inspired by a beautiful city, Venice. The view of the Grand Canal is magnificent. The sun is setting and some buildings are lit with a warm light, while others are in dark, cold shadows. I will make a watercolor painting of the view of Rialto Bridge. I will do this by applying cold and warm color washes, after which I will then make a linear drawing on top of the watercolor artwork, depicting numerous details of the bridge and surrounding architecture. I start by making an underdrawing in graphite pencil directly on the watercolor paper sheet. This is high-quality watercolor paper, which has 300 GSM weight and a cold-pressed surface. Although 100% cotton paper can withstand some erasing without any problems, if you have any doubts in your drawing skills or would like to make a fairly complicated composition, it is better to make a preliminary drawing on a separate sheet of paper and then transfer it. This way, you can work on the composition without worrying about spoiling an expensive watercolor paper sheet. To me, the composition I am making is quite straightforward and simple enough to draw directly onto the watercolor paper. Just in case, I am applying a very light pressure on the pencil, and should anything go wrong, it would be easy to erase and fix a mistake. If you want to learn how to draw whatever you see or imagine, you can take the Drawing Academy online video course. In this course, you will discover how to use constructive drawing principles, including linear perspective, proportions, alignments, how to depict tonal values using professional rendering techniques, and so on. This drawing course also comes with very valuable personal support. With the composition in place, I will now use masking fluid to create a white protective frame around the artwork. First, I wet a cheap synthetic brush in a liquid soap and wipe it with a paper towel. After such treatment, it is easier to clean up the brush after using it for masking. After the masking is in place, I will thoroughly dry it for at least 1 hour. For the next step, I use muslin cloth and a wide synthetic brush. First, I prepare the cloth by unwrapping it and placing it on the plastic board. Afterwards, with a flat, wide synthetic brush, I wet this cloth with clean water. When this cloth is thoroughly soaked in water, I place the watercolor paper sheet face down. I thoroughly wet the reverse side of the sheet with clean water, using the same brush. A natural or synthetic sponge can also be used for that purpose. Alternatively, you can place the entire sheet into the bath for a couple of minutes. When the paper absorbs water, I lift it and turn it face side up and accurately place it on the muslin cloth. Now, the front side of the watercolor paper sheet has to be moistened as well. It will take about 10 to 15 minutes for the paper to absorb water and become moist. When the paper is moist, I can begin painting in watercolor. For the blue color of the clear sky, I will use cobalt blue from Winsor & Newton. This blue paint is semi-transparent and consists of a single pigment, PB28. With this paint, it is easy to achieve smooth gradation. However, the pigment is quite heavy and therefore can granulate. You will find that wash and outline technique works very well for both monochrome and full-color artworks.